flaws and all. Womanhood, sisterhood, and traveling through the worst hood. Adulthood. Conversation from a woman's point of view. This is the S.I.S Podcast.
Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
They still phony. So, y'all, we back again with episode 8 on season 3. Ha, got it right.
She did.
Oh,
About time.
I mean, it is the final episode.
I would hope so.
It only
It's
took
the
me all
final
these episodes
episode.
to get it right, but I got it right. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and talk about raising these daggone kids, okay, while raising yourself, because it's ghetto out here, okay? And growing up and having a child at the same time definitely can't be easy.
It ain't for the weak.
So it's the live sis, you know, everybody's favorite TT.
It's your
Here
girl.
again.
It's your girl.
Right.
Queen.
She gonna let you. She gonna let you.
I mean, it was real lengthy at the end.
I ain't turned my head yet.
I didn't know it was for the hair.
Let me
Right.
for the hair flip. You know they gotta.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl, Queen. Yeah.
And it's Fee.
It's your girl Quell.
And it's your girl, Jenny.
Okay.
The hate is so real. When I tell
Hey,
you,
no, hey.
That's a
when it begins to get shady in the room.
Ain't no shade. And the only shade given is the shade from them plants.
Okay, girl, come on here.
Give it.
What we talking about today?
All right. So again, we talking about raising these kids while raising yourself. So the first thing I want to ask y'all is, what is the hardest part of raising a child while not being exactly where you want to be career-wise or financially? Ooh.
Dang, you had to just jump right in right there, huh?
Damn, that's a heavy.
Right. Excuse me, Alice. Can you repeat the question for 500, please?
Sheesh. What is the hardest part of raising a child while not being exactly where you want it to be, career-wise or financially?
I mean,
For 500.
when you're ready, like when you're ready to be financially thinking you're stable. I mean, that's a hard question to ask because you can say, okay, I'm better than I was in my, the past. There's always progression to be found. But I mean, are you ever like, I think we all think about when we're fully ready, when we're like millionaires, we can give money back. Yeah. That's what I feel like I've accomplished. Like I can give money back. I can put money in their account or trust, stuff like that.
Like for me, like I'm the only one that's not a mother. You know what I'm saying? That's single, not married, the kids. But that's like a requirement for me. Like outside of just the spiritual, biblical aspect of like not having a child out of wedlock, right? Personally for myself. That the reason why I feel like it's important is because it provides stability. And I think a lot of people think about that, like it should be important before you have a child that I'm financially stable, I'm socially stable, I'm career stable. Like there's stability.
And I agree. I think
in the home before having
I think
a child.
it shifts.
So what's it like when you don't have that?
Right. I think it shifts your parenting style when you are more established versus when you're not. For instance, when I had Janiyah, of course, if you guys listen to the previous episodes, I had her when I was 15. That was probably looking back, hindsight 2020, there are a lot of things that we're going to have to go to therapy for because I just wasn't there mentally, emotionally, physically, financially as a mother. So I had to learn a lot of things along the way. And there was a lot of transitioning for me. I was in high school.
Right.
Then I went off to college. Yeah. So she stayed with my mom, while I was in college for the first year. And when she came to visit me, it was a little disrespect. So I was like, oh, you're going to have to put some respect on my name. So, I moved her to come back on Trier, y'all. Okay.
Right.
I moved her to come and live with me. But during that time, what I can say is as a mother looking back, like that, I'm not going to say that was a huge mistake, but I will say it plays into who she is now, her being antisocial, her being, all of those issues that she's going to have to work through this adulthood was created because of my instability. Yeah. So because I'm moving from apartment to apartment, because I'm still in college, that means that she's moving from school to school. So you make friends here, but you can't really make real friends because you're going to move again, because mommy is still figuring out her life,
Right.
And I think, and we kind of alluded to this in a different episode where we discussed a little bit about like the first child gets the rut of all of it really does, or they really do.
We do.
Because we're still evolving. We're still learning what it's like to be a parent, what we do as parents, and how it impacts our children long term.
Yeah.
Because short term, I'm thinking I'm doing fine. I'm excelling. Shoot, I finally got a better place to live. But when you look back at it, it's like, well, damn, did I fuck my kid up by doing all of this while I'm thinking I'm doing great?
Yeah.
I'm studying, I'm going to school, but I'm also depriving her of that time that we could have had because I am not where I want to be, but I'm striving to get there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she's growing with me.
Right.
So
I don't think you can ever be like in a very well financial place when it comes to children, because there's so many things that come up that you cannot plan for. That's what I'm saying. Of course, you want to be in a career, you want to have stability financially, but it's stuff that comes up with children. And I'm just going to be real, like these daycare bills.
girl.
Baby, it's like
Exactly what you just said.
It's a bill. It's a mortgage.
It's a bill.
You know what? Like,
Yeah, no cap.
so it's like I'm in my career. Damn, I didn't graduate. Me and my husband was married 5 years before we had a child.
Right.
So it's like I thought we were ready. Were we?
Yeah.
Were we? It's the question.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were ready.
Yeah.
You know. So
Not a mortgage.
No, it really is.
It
Like
really
we were
is.
paying $1,200 to $1,500 a month for childcare.
Yes.
And when you're looking at those kind of expenses, no matter how well off you think you are, and
That's
that's
$1,500 a month.
Yes.
Rent and mortgage.
$1,200 to $1,500 at
back
3
then.
years old. At a newborn,
Yeah.
it's in the twos.
Yes.
Yeah.
It costs more because they do more.
Yeah, they got to change the
care for
diapers.
the
It's in the
baby.
twos. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more independent. They come. it
rent
becomes-
and mortgage.
Absolutely. At this point,
Come on in the room.
that's why your children are investments, because that was a whole investment property that I could have been paying for.
I can that child boy get some money some way, somehow.
Yeah.
That child boy
When they
get
send
some money.
when you about to file your taxes, and so your daycare provider sends you that end of year statement,
Ooh.
baby, you
When
feel
I
that
see
money, you be like, where the hell that money come from? Thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars.
Yes.
It is thousands of dollars.
Yes. It is expensive.
that's
And for me, as
It
y'all
is.
know from previous episodes, my mom young, so she's still working. I don't have a retired mom.
Right.
My mom had me, she was a teenage mom. So I'm over here like, I didn't watch everybody else's kids.
Who gonna
Yeah.
watch mine?
Can somebody get mine?
Right. No, for real though.
Let me tell you, them daycare bills, you cannot plan for that unless, like she mentioned, you like a millionaire, because then you really feel like, oh yeah, there ain't nothing dropping the bucket.
No, but
you gonna
honestly-
feel that 1,500.
Yeah, but no,
You gonna
honestly,
feel it.
even I just feel like kind of piggybacking on.
Oh, somebody, mama
where-
gonna have to come and live.
Okay.
Right, and that's
Telling you,
but
this
you
is where
gotta
the
think
village comes in.
That's the
Yes.
that's the breakdown that we're experiencing as these millennial kids, because our parents are still working.
Right.
So we don't have the grace of like where our parents, when they had us, our
Exactly.
grandparents came to stay with us, and they
They sure
showed us.
did.
Y'all have
Absolutely.
daycare bills,
Yeah.
because the grandparents
Absolutely.
watched us,
Yeah.
and they was really great.
But now the grandparents are younger. Grandma, we outside tonight. And the grandkids, like everybody but literally like this.
But literally, even what you realize is, even when you make more money, the truth is the kids' expenses don't stop. They just grow with your.
They
do.
It's like, okay,
Now you got
I put them in the
Now you got ballet.
That's
Now you got
important. That's all those
only
things are
afford
important.
The child time daycare or like
Absolutely.
Boys and Girls Club, but now I can afford to put them in a Montessori school.
Yeah.
Now I can afford Kumon classes. Now I can afford piano classes.
Yeah.
So
Right.
all it does is it allows you to offer them more opportunities. It's still just
because you were still gonna
expensive.
spend.
Yeah.
You
And then it's
sure
like,
were.
okay, instead of investing $500 a month in a 403B or they 529 plan, now I can get them $1,000 every month to make sure that when college comes, because the way it's trending, that I don't want nobody talking about no daggone student loans, baby. Your money is here. Your best bet is to get a scholarship so you can do something else you want to do with
and
this
that's
money.
why you're investing in those
Yes.
extracurricular activities, because we need scholarships.
And
Absolutely.
you're talking about
multiple.
Exactly.
right now. My
Not
2 or 3.
ship.
Yes, right now my friend whose son is in basketball
A whole
and he is
cruise
taking
fleet.
it seriously.
every month.
Yeah.
Every month it's an additional $1,500 in your household.
Right.
For just to tap into that passion.
Yeah.
And
$1,500 for basketball a month.
7.
Yeah.
He's 7.
Hot damn it.
This is why I said what I said.
Because your kids really are an investment.
Yes,
like even
they
this
are.
year, I'm
Yes.
looking at.
You're gonna want the best exposure
You
for
are.
your child.
Yes, and that costs money.
You're gonna try your best. Yes, we're gonna
Absolutely.
grandma,
Being an auntie, you know what I'm saying, and
we need some
godmom,
help.
like,
And that's why birthday parties these days now, if you notice, people don't bring my child no gifts. You see this QR code, scan that joint, and send my
Absolutely.
child 529 plan.
Yeah.
That is way more valuable to them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they're not gonna get that money.
We do it where every year on our son's birthdays, she sent $100 for Iman. I sent $100 for Messiah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We put that into their funds.
Straight to their high yield.
Straight to
baby.
their yep. That's what we do for them
As
because
you
we invest
should.
into our
Yeah.
kids.
Yes.
okay, so what I hear is it is a good as a TT, right? So it is good to help on the sense like, oh, what do they want to do? What their extracurricular is like. So for my goddaughter, my oldest goddaughter, she like gymnastics and stuff like that. I can't always because she lives further away now. I can't always be there, but I'm like,
Send a
all right,
check.
The financial.
Please.
it costs for her gymnastics.
Bodily
costs.
needs.
Like I'll
Thank
go
you.
and pay for her gymnastics.
Which helps
whatever
because
helps.
both my
Or,
boys
you know what
are
I'm saying, like,
they're in
I'll go-
football, and football
or like
is taxing.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
my sister that send me stuff like for, you know what I'm saying, and I see the things, I'm like, all right, whatever, they gotta go to some championship.
It takes
game.
Right.
It takes a village though.
Here.
Yeah.
It does.
And that's why I made that comment in the beginning, because when are you really financially stable with all of these bills? You cannot be. You have to be a billionaire. And even then, I'm sure it's something that's going to compound to make you feel like I need more money to
Right.
finance this child. And don't have multiple. We're talking about one.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about
One.
multiple. You add, that's multiplied. Because
Right.
I got 2 girls.
Because that child care come together. Don't have them stare at a kid.
Oh,
But they both in there at the same
you
time.
You send both your children to the daycare. We give you $200 off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
$200
For the
off.
sibling. Thank you.
What the heck is $200 off?
Nothing.
In a grand screen.
That's
Because
like
then they
it.
come back and tax you. Oh, we got this fundraiser.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Leave me the hell alone.
You get
Right.
that, your 200 back, basically.
That's the same as getting the tax return where you paying all these extra taxes. All you get is about 0.5 or 1% back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's why I said you have
it's
to.
ghetto.
It is very ghetto. So
It's
when are
very
you
ghetto.
financially
Very much
stable?
so.
Even though we had these kids when we're, because like everybody doesn't have the luxury of saying, okay, I'm gonna wait till I'm financially stable.
Right.
I got all the education I need to get my child, and I'm gonna have this child, and we're gonna be good.
Because then
What
your
does that
body be
mean?
giving, oh no, I'm done.
And then what if it's what if you have a situation where you didn't know you got pregnant?
Yeah.
And so now you're in a situation where you're like, okay, well, I got to make the best out of my situation. I got to do better, but it's going to be a grind. Like T was saying, like, I got to grind with you. So you're going to go through the mud with me, but we're going to get to where we need to go.
Yeah.
But you got
But that grind has long-term effects. And
It
that's
does.
what, like, while I'm
Traumatic stress.
extremely like happy that I'm in my mid-30s and all my kids are damn near grown.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? While that is a blessing, the fact that my daughter is 21, like, it's great. But when I look back on the long-term effects of some of the decisions and the sacrifices that I had to make, and knowing that my child had to go along with it,
It's hurtful.
like, and granted, there are a lot of my friends who just started having kids.
Yep.
So I feel like I beat I'm at the finish line. I'm like, hey, bitches, I'm out. And while all of that is great, at the end of the day, I know how much it took for me to get here. And I know the disadvantage of having children early.
Yeah.
Like too early where they really have to grow with you. And I know that brought us back to your question.
What do you think that had on your child? Like, what impact
Well,
do
I
you think
told
it has
you
on your
one
child?
thing was for sure making her like antisocial. Like that was something that she really struggled with because it was going from school to school
introverted.
she's definitely introverted, and y'all know that ain't me. Okay,
Right.
so I'm trying to
ain't
figure out where
nothing
you get
wrong
that
with
from.
being introverted,
Yeah, but
It's a traumatic response.
It may be
though.
a
it is a
It can
traumatic
be a
response.
trauma.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even down to, you heard her earlier, she's getting ready to graduate in May. She doesn't even want to go to her graduation. It's just like, I'm just doing this because it's expected of me. And it's like just her perception on a lot of things, I really think it deals with what she experienced with me just trying to be a mom. You know, and even before I learned how to speak to her correctly, because I did what I heard. Sit your ass down. Da, 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 you know, where she witnessed me with the last one. Son, I need for you to have a seat. If you don't have a seat, then da, da. And it's just like, where is that energy at?
That's not even, you know what I mean? Not to, you know what I'm saying, to take away from that, but to, you know, give yourself grace, because that's not even just a young thing.
Yeah.
That's also a generational thing.
It is.
Because like my mama had me in her 30s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's also it's a first time parent thing.
And we kind of talked about that in old school versus new school parenting, just the learning, and you know, we know
The
that
learning
they were
curves.
learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it doesn't necessarily have to be an age thing. It can also be a generational thing where
generational
mindset, first time, just learning it new,
and it's also,
and you mess up with the first kid, and you figure it out.
You
by the
learn
time.
and you get better.
It's
That's why
understanding
I'm
those
sensitive
things.
to them oldest, the firstborns, because we got it rough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the parents have to understand what their parents did to them, and that it actually was trauma. Instead of just repeating the cycle. They have to understand and make sure they break that cycle. Because if they don't, it will get repeated, and you will start doing those things your parents did just because you're like, okay, parents do this, I'm gonna tell them the same thing. Not understanding that what it did to you, you're now inflicting on your child. So
and
now you won't have
and oftentimes we don't even realize like the traumas we experience until we do hit them 30s.
Exactly.
Them dirty 30s, baby. Let me tell you, they dirty for a reason. And the main reason is because that childhood trauma manifests. You know, during that time frame where you're able to really see like, dang, I got issues with this. And then now you're rediscovering yourself, and you're realizing that some of these issues came from mama or from daddy or from the way
family members.
You know, re-implementing new boundaries, because you'd be like, wait a minute, why have I been dealing with this? You know, why do I have these people in my life? Like all these other, you start reassessing a lot of shit.
Girl,
and then start thinking of stuff like, if someone had talked to me this way, I probably would have responded and had a better outcome than I do now. So it's just like redirecting those things and seeing those things in your children and saying, hold on, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to listen to you and see how can I redirect you so that you can have a better outcome and not have these traumas I had.
So what it sounds like, and you know, it just makes me consider as the person, you know, only person that doesn't have kids, like as I'm going through my own personal journey and healing and growing and developing as a person, it ultimately will be in the, you know, for the better of my child when I have
absolutely.
My child.
If you know what your issues are and have dealt with that, you can
100%. I don't transfer generational curses and those traumas.
Absolutely.
When you do that self-awareness and you're able to pour into your child the best way possible, that's the best thing you can do as a parent.
Understanding your triggers before you have kids is man, it's top tier. Because
it's essential.
Because I there are often times where I really want Yogi Mana, like real bad. But I understand that it's a trigger in me. It's not nothing that he did. He's being a 3-year-old.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I often like caution myself. Like I hold myself back because I'm like, it's not him.
And you want to teach them, for one, you want to teach them how to deal with that anger and frustration. If I know that being angry means I'm supposed to yell and hit you and da-da-da-da, that's what I'm transferring to them. They're learning from us every single day. So instead, when they see me frustrated, I handle my frustration differently because I need you to know that you're still in control of how you handle, how you respond. So all of these moments are teachable moments, but unfortunately, the first kid doesn't get the wisdom.
Nah, they don't.
But wisdom, when we pray to God for wisdom, we're praying to God for experience. So we have to experience certain things in order to get wisdom in the first place.
Definitely.
So there's no way you can get wisdom without experiencing some shit. So we get wisdom about our children by experiencing shit with the first kid, so that we get wisdom on how to do it right the next time. And then the next time it's even better because we learn from the first two kids that put that one up, that one I did. Okay, well maybe you were a quick learner. You didn't have to take the test too many times.
You were mortgage.
Yeah. No, for real though. Yeah, for real.
And every child is different too. Completely. So like what Fee was saying is some things that maybe you didn't go through with the first child that you're still having to learn, because it's just like something new. When you face with something new, you have to know how to face it. So if you're controlled, like going to therapy and facing your demons, and you're able to take a deep breath and come talk to your child when you have calmed down, then that makes the situation better. But we have to handle first time situations better the first time and not having, you know what I'm saying, those repeats. 100%. But like I said, you cannot plan for everything. No. You do your best. We're doing our best. Our parents did their best. And we just be better from it. We become better from it.
Absolutely.
So what it sounds like, what I hear, you know, is it's not necessarily more of making sure that you're where you want to be career-wise or financially wise, because there can always be growth there. But it's more about being where you need to be mentally, emotionally, right?
That's what you would like to
ready.
Like that's what it sounds like is where the goal is, right? Is that where that change and transition happens? Not because because most people think of can I afford this child? You know, provide a stable roof or whatever.
Which all of that is very important and it's realistic too. Especially with them cutting down on so many of the fundings that are, you know, because some people, I mean, they love having kids, okay, and taxpayers such as myself are helping take care of them kids. Oh, Lord. You know, no, but I'm serious. Yeah, okay, catch it, clock it. But you know, but for those who actually do need that assistance, who are in a different bracket, because you are in that middle class bracket, you're not receiving those funds to help take care of these kids. You know, that you earnestly, work hard to try to provide for. You know, so it's definitely something.
And with inflation and things going up all the time, it makes it extremely hard to stay above that.
Water.
Okay, I am good.
I can pay all paycheck to paycheck.
Yes, because everything going up. Look at the price of eggs. Like, crazy work. Like, what you
no matter what the president say, them shits is not going down.
The eggs have been going down for the podcast. All right. But at the end of the day, all of it is a combination of what it takes to actually like prepare yourself to have a kid. It is financially, mentally, emotionally, you know, and while you will never truly be ready, having some of those things in alignment will definitely help the transition of you raising your child and focusing on the proper things to raise your child, so that you're not working 5 jobs to pay for the daycare and now your child doesn't see you. Yes, you can pay for the daycare, but now your child never sees you. So who's winning?
Not a daycare.
The daycare.
But also understanding that biological clock is real. People like don't get caught up in, oh, this celebrity is having this baby at 50 years old, so I can do it too. That is not the case for majority of women.
Absolutely.
Like, health-wise, understand that as you increase
so many more risks.
The risk of having a miscarriage, it goes along kind of like that incremental. So in your 20s, you have a 20% chance. In your 30s, you have a 30% chance. In your 40s, you have a 40% chance. So those things increase. So as people are thinking about having kids, yes, the finance is important. The mental piece is important. But also keep that in mind, because then you're going to have to partner the finances with, oh, now I have to do different type of, you know, things so that I can
keep my body
to keep my body healthy, so that I can be here for this child that I'm trying to bring into
that
this world,
whole part,
and that the child that I'm bringing into this world is also going to be healthy as well, because statistics also increase that your child will have more genetic abnormalities as you get older.
And on the flip side of that, not fall into that Southern Belle mentality of saying that, you know, I have to be married and have a child by a certain age. Because now you're having a child too young and you're not ready mentally to even take care of those type of situations. So now you're trying to follow the fast and try to, you know, all my friends having babies, so I need to have one too. And now you're not even ready and you're putting yourself in a situation that you don't have to be in. So it's also on the other side of that as well. You have to be mindful.
Okay. So with all of those things in mind, right? Like
what I'm hearing is the
health aspect, the mental, the behavioral, the financial, the career. How are you able to persevere, you know, with your child through all of that? How do you make it through all of that, still raising your kid?
A lot of alcohol. Oh, God, too.
That was two spectrums. We went from alcohol to God. Wait a minute.
We did make
wine. They both weed in the middle. They both spirits. They're all spirits.
Why weed they got Jesus Christ. Lord, now that's the trifecta right there.
I'm prioritizing.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, I am not big on mommy guilt.
Yeah.
So I have to prioritize self-care and stuff like that, because one thing my mama did a lot because she was a single parent was hollering.
Yeah.
Holler all the time. And I don't want to do I see myself doing it sometimes when I'm like that. And I actually apologize to my child.
Yeah.
He's
the
4.
apology is
and
so
I'm
important.
like, Mommy, sorry.
Yeah.
And he said it's okay.
Yep.
He said you having a hard time.
No, it really
You
having a hard time. I'm like, baby, I am. Can you go get me a snack? Like, I want a snack. Can you go get me a snack? Okay. But prioritize it.
Yeah.
And then, as they get older, it kind of get easy with things with them being more independent.
Yes.
And they can do things. Like, he's 4, he like going to the gym too. Because we're going to the gym. If y'all don't know by now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So that's important for me and for my mental health. You know what I'm saying? We're going to church. We're going.
Amen.
For sure. We're going now.
Amen.
So it's, so you have to, and I wanted to say, like, it's a personalized journey. It's an individual thing. Like, what works for me may not work for Fee, Jenny, Queese, you, when you become a mom.
Right.
So you have to, you have to figure out your family dynamic and all
For
those
sure.
kind of things. And building capacity. I am learning that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not even building capacity management.
Yeah.
Because your capacity
knowing
is
what your capacity is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You gotta
knowing where
figure out.
it needs to be built for real.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by capacity management? Because I was going to say, because I definitely understand the hollering thing, because as a child, it really bothered me when people would yell. You know what I mean? And like I would freeze, and then I would smile because my reaction
'cause
when
you're
I get
crazy.
nervous. Because I would get nervous and you know what I mean, get fearful, so I would laugh.
Yeah.
My reaction was to laugh, and I couldn't control it, and then it would just get me in more trouble.
Yeah.
But then it would just only make me laugh more. But as I got older, it switched from laughter to anger because the yelling is something that, you know what I mean?
I'm not going to get it because you're saying it loud.
Yeah, it's like it don't change. Just because you raise your voice don't change what you're saying. What you're saying still don't make no sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to me? But what do you mean by capacity management? Like
knowing what you can take. You know how some people they're burning themselves like down, they're wearing
Completely
themselves
out.
down. Like we talk about making sure your cup is filled so that you can pour into others. That's important because when your cup is not filled, now you're causing trauma. That's what you're doing because you don't have it to give.
Yeah.
So you have to, and that's why we're talking about therapy and we're talking about taking that time. If you can afford therapy, they have books, they have things that you
everybody
can
can
do to
afford
learn.
therapy because if you on Medicaid, it's covered by Medicaid.
So see, that's
that's so
information
good.
to know.
But you have to take the initiative to go.
Yes.
And you
And
have
find
to
out.
And a lot of
questions.
therapists these days,
Yes.
good therapists do take Medicaid.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's okay if you find out like, oh, I don't really like this one. Switch to another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. You
You
have
know
to
what I'm saying?
ask those questions and talk
Trial
with your
and error.
doctor and let them know what's going on because that's how you know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They Medicaid, you know what I'm saying? Can I get on Medicaid?
Let me go.
God, I wish I
anyway,
could get
go
back
Google
on
real
Medicaid.
quick.
Yeah.
Copay is
Because
wow.
sometimes I think in our culture,
In
in our
Maryland,
community, we kind of push everything to the side or kind of press it down because it's like, okay, I'm going through this, but mom and them had it harder. Everybody
Right.
had it.
Yeah.
So-
Every generation had it worse,
So
had it worse,
sometimes
had
you
it
have to be
worse, yeah.
educated on those cues of knowing that, okay, I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting
Yeah.
stressed, I need some time.
Right.
Yes.
Before blowing, because when you're having a hard time and you're putting that off on your own kids, it impacts them largely. So knowing when to just that's what we mean by that capacity of like knowing when you're reaching that limit and taking the time to do whatever needs to be done in order to dial it back just a little bit so that you can be the best version of yourself because your little people, they are watching. They're watching how you handle everything. And how you handle things is going to be how they handle things.
Yes.
They look at how you love and imitate love based on how you do. They look at how you respond to anger. They imitate anger based on what they see you do. So when we say that you truly have to know you, you have to know you, because everything that they do is a learned behavior.
Yes.
People don't come out the womb hating. They learn that.
Yes, they do.
That's why young kids can be friends, white and black together, and holding hands, not knowing the difference.
MLK, Mrs.
No, I'm just saying. Not knowing the difference only because they're taught to instill this hate or discrimination and all that kind of stuff. That's not a natural thing.
It's not.
You know, so again.
That capacity management is so essential, like going through postpartum.
Yeah.
Because you really, it's, first of all, understanding that you really don't have a capacity.
Yeah. No.
You know, but you still have to kind of show up. And so, like, I think that is one of the biggest things that I'm struggling with right now is where does my capacity lie and when do I ask for help? Because I always think I'm asking for too much help. Like, and my therapist consistently reminds me, you can never ask for too much help.
Exactly.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, now is a time where everything that you can ask for help for, ask. Okay?
I mean, the thing is, the worst people can say is no.
Yeah.
So you not asking is denying yourself before someone is even willing to deny you.
Exactly.
And that's a fear factor.
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
Yeah, most people
are
because
afraid of that word no.
Yeah, they're afraid of the word no. Exactly. Trauma responses, which again, a closed mouth does not get fed. So at the end of the day, don't ever. And if you're out here and you're listening, you're watching, like, always ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't allow your pride and your ego to get in the way of you receiving the blessings that are due to you in the first place. Like, I mean, people are placed in your life for a reason. So definitely allow them to tell you no, but don't tell yourself no first. And that's in everything. Career, Don't tell yourself no to nothing.
And don't think that you're a burden to, to anyone. When you're asking for their help, you want to ask for their help, be active about asking for their help. Don't wait for them to come to you or say, or let them say, hey, like, because you thinking, oh, I need to be independent. I don't need to ask for help. That's a sign of weakness. Like, no, especially when it's talking about postpartum, like you definitely need to be asking for help because you need it. Even when you don't feel like you need it, you need it.
Right.
You need, because you'll do something that you don't even know that you have the capacity to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it is, you know, and I have noticed this, like with the, you know, being I'm the only single friend right in my friend group, you know, around at this point we're not without kids, but I was come to find out is that being support for people, even my friends or even family, sometimes like people will make a decision for you before you can make the decision for yourself. They will choose and decide, I'm not going to ask you for this, or you can't support me in this, or you can't do this for this because you got X, Y, and Z going on, or you got this going on, or they make this assumption, right? Or decision about what you can and cannot do, right? Without you making that for yourself, right? And what I do try to say is we're all adults. Everybody grown. Let adults make decisions for themselves. Let them tell you, I can't do this. I can't do that. Don't turn around and say and determine and choose for them and make the decision for them. Oh, you can't do this. You're not going to be able to do this. So I'm just going to suffer in silence. Right? Yeah. Because I've now made the decision you can't do it because it's too much for you, or I feel like it may be too much for you. But you didn't allow that person to make the decision for themselves, whether or not it's too much for them. Yeah.
It's a traumatic response, though. That's their defense mechanism, saying, okay, they really are, it's really a reflection of them and not so much of what they're thinking about you. It sounds like it's you, or they saying, oh, you know, they can't do it, so I'm not going to ask them. It's really because they feel like they're not worth you giving them that help, or they should not be asking for it. That's really what's coming from. It's them. It's them.
Yeah. So how do you battle, right, those trauma responses and asking for help when you know you need help, understanding your capacity management? How do you battle those reflex actions of acting in one way, feeling like you got it all, you got to do it all, and all of that, but also knowing you have a support system around you that's there to help you? How do you battle that?
I mean, I think
to get what you need?
I think it comes with time because, of course, with my first child, I didn't know. I mean, I naturally received help, you know, because typically your first child, and especially because I was a child. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes it does get to a point where you do want to show that you are independent, but always remember, like, that pride truly is a hindrance to an open door. And I understood very early that it takes a village. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think if we keep that mindset, that village mindset, this season we've gone through so much where we talked about aunties, we talked about, you know, we had dad perspectives. Mm-hmm. So we can literally say that it does take a village, especially to raise a well-rounded child. Yeah. So again, if you're listening, if you're watching, like, don't be afraid to lean on that village. And sometimes that may look like it could be a text. Personally, I don't like texts because you can't hear tone. Yeah. So sometimes, you know, you may read it a certain way, like, and it wasn't meant to be that way, especially if you're not speaking to that person on a regular basis, you know, to actually understand when sarcasm or anything else is taking place.
Intent. That's what I learned at a work conference. Yeah. When it comes to digital communication,
absolutely
neutral intent, not bad or good,
right? Neutral intent for sure. So picking up the phone and just like developing those relationships, being able to ask, and then finding your true support system is not going to always be the same. It's kind of like your friend group. For instance, with your friend groups, you know, you got that one friend that's always ready to go out with you. You got that other friend who you can truly call. One call, that's all. You know what I'm saying? Then you have another friend who may be financial as hell. So if you ready to go on a trip, like, that's the friend that you call. It's the same way when it comes down to building these relationships. You know, with your support system. Some supporters are going to be the ones that watch your kids. I'm not going to get mad at the ones who I know aren't the ones that watch my kids. And when I ask them to watch my kids, then I'm mad at them now because they didn't want to watch the kids. I know, because they were never a part of that category of watching my kids. Now, they've always been a financial category. So if I know that little Johnny got a football, you know, fundraiser, I know I can always depend on them to support in that area. So I think what will eliminate us being frustrated with other people and feeling like people will let us down is by remembering what category to put each person in. You know, because then you don't give that false, you know, expectations on family members, and now you're cutting everybody off because you don't support me. But they were never meant to support you in that capacity. Sometimes it may just be like, hey, I just need someone to talk to. I'm really frustrated with my niece. I mean, with my child.
In the right categories, because not everyone. I cannot say this enough. People look at me crazy when I say the tier levels that I have of people. Absolutely. That I put them in my life, because I'm very particular about that word friendship. Absolutely. I'm very particular about the word best friend. I'm very particular about the word good friend. I'm very particular about the word associate. Right. You know what I'm saying? Sis, sister, family. Like, you need to understand associate by association. Like, there are associates. They ain't your associate. They ain't your friend. They an associate by association. Like, people need to understand there's levels and tiers. Right. And you know what I'm saying? And
it's where the same way with family, though. Absolutely.
In your life. And family is...
And that will eliminate, again, giving those false expectations. You know, and then you won't feel like people are just letting you down, because I'm sure that that's not their intent. But if you got them in a wrong category, then
that's just not their role.
So that's where frustration
That's just not their role.
You know, having them in the wrong category. And I really believe in loving people for what they're good at.
Absolutely.
And the role they play.
People where they are.
If this the money friend, or this the baby watching friend, or this the vacation friend, love them for that. And that, to me, that cuts out frustration.
I have some friends that are all well-rounded in the area.
Yeah, you do. But
and it's very rare.
Don't use them for everything.
Right.
Pick one.
Because even though, you know what I'm saying, you have people that are quote unquote well-rounded or may appear well-rounded, I don't think that they're actually truly well-rounded and they're all of those things. Everybody has areas where they excel at more, where their strengths over weaknesses. So there may be areas that they may be willing to do in all, but that's just because they're one of those people that are very, like, I'm one of those people that's just very giving, right? It's just in my nature to be very giving, very selfless. So I may be willing to hit you in all of those categories, but are all of those categories my strengths, right? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't always be mad if, hey, one category you can depend on me one, but at this time period, I might not be able to feel you on that category specifically. Yeah. So I think it also comes with a balance, right, of understanding who that individual is and what role they play with you, and understanding their roles in that time, right, and how they can best suit that village, that role that's cyclical. But that brings me full circle into like where you were, you know, in boundaries and understanding roles. What final advice would you give to parents raising kids, you know, raising yourself, being in this whole environment and journey of motherhood, parenthood, all of that?
Give yourself grace.
Girl, I swear. That is exactly what I was going to say.
Give yourself grace, because you're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to know everything automatically just because you're a parent. You done read every book that you done found. Like, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to give yourself grace and learn from your traumas. Don't let your traumas interpret how you parent. And listen and take advice from those sparingly. Don't take exactly what they say, because use your own reasoning. You have to always still lean on your understanding too, and look out for outsources, but then also use therapy. You're going to have to lean.
Girl, just say one. What we going to say now that you don't say it all that?
I mean, y'all have been giving all the proofs. I'm trying to give some out. You know what I mean? I was just saying, like, you just got to give yourself grace. Like, just bring it all back to that, because if you don't, you're gonna cause trauma that you're not intending to cause.
Absolutely. And I, as much as I hate getting on a pig's back, baby, because I don't feel like it's stable actually to get on a.
No, slippery.
What kind of?
Why would you say a pig?
You know when they piggyback. Y'all.
Oh,
I hate y'all.
I didn't catch it.
You lost me on the pig. I said on the pig.
Is this a saying that I don't? They say
No, like the piggyback on such and such. That's why. I know you ain't talking because you don't hit us with so many idioms this whole season.
But that one took a left turn.
Yeah, it did. All right. Okay, come back then. Here we go. I will say that I have to agree that grace is needed.
Yeah.
Like it is so essential, because we are so hard on ourselves sometimes that we don't always see like the good that we do. And honestly, sometimes our kids don't see the good that we do until they grown.
Yes.
Because it wasn't until I was grown that I understood my mom's sacrifices, that I understood why she did what she did, how she did it, and the reasoning behind her doing it. You know, and she didn't have a book to do it either. But what I will say is eventually they will appreciate your sacrifice. It may not seem like it now. And for those parents out there listening and or watching, please know that eventually they will see it and they will appreciate it. But also be transparent about a lot of things with your kids as well. Talk to them about finances, because money doesn't grow on trees.
Sure don't.
Contrary to popular belief. But if that means sitting through and allowing your child to see you budget so that they can see this is what mommy is spending, like they need to be able to take every opportunity as a teachable moment. You know, and it's teachable for you. And it's also teachable for your child. So between the grace, between the teachable moments, and just between you being you, enjoy parenting. You know.
Yes.
It's a journey.
Same as they're saying, you know, be gentle with yourself. You're learning as you go as well. Yes, be gentle with yourself.
She's so cute.
I know, girl.
Demure.
And then
Very
it's
much
like sometimes you can delay a reaction. I think sometimes we want to react right then. And like we talked about capacity, we're not in that, you know, because sometimes at the end of your day, you probably yell or you probably handle it differently than if it came at you in the morning. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes if you can't respond at the time, just wait. Sleep on it. Talk to them the next day. If y'all don't sit at the table, because we don't always sit at the table, we sitting at the table tonight. We're going to talk tonight. You know, you clear-headed now. You're better. So sometimes just take a step back sometimes and delay your reaction to think, process and then respond to your child. Because as Steve was saying, sometimes the reaction that we have in the moment out of frustration, it is trauma for years to come on the child.
Yeah.
So it's better to have a delayed reaction than to just react out of frustration. Right? So if you didn't get anything, get that. Know that. You don't have to respond right now today. So, yeah.
Mine is me time. Like, you got to set aside some time. Like, and I'm talking about every day. Even if it's like, I know like there are people out there struggling, like I gotta go from job to job. Even if it's just 10 minutes in the corner by yourself, where you just listening to a little motivational, or it's just a heartbeat, or it's just some type of white noise or whatever like that. Take some me time for yourself to reset, because not having that and then just building off of this after this after this after this, because it doesn't stop. It does not stop. Every day keeps going. That child gonna need something else. Somebody gonna need something else. You know, and it doesn't stop them from asking or wanting or needing. So in order to be able to, you know, manage your capacity and pour into that, you gotta take some time for yourself. So
I love that. I love that. Look at y'all giving nuggets and stuff on the parent end. I'll take it all in once I get there. I ain't there yet, but when I get there, I remember all of this. So I hope y'all learned something, that y'all got some great knowledge, some great advice, some great insight on parenthood. This has been a great season. We done cover aunties, we done cover uncles, we done cover fathers, all of it. We done cover husbands, we done cover motherhood, pregnancy, delivery.
Everything.
Just go in the back so you can see what happens.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't tuned in and you just tuned it in, baby, you sleep. You late. I'm gonna need you to run it back to the beginning and catch up. All right, throughout the entire season, because next season we're gonna be back bigger and better with adulthood, the ghetto. HETTO. Very ghetto, especially in this world we're living in today. Okay, so thank you again for always tuning in to S.I.S Podcast, and with that we say bye, sis.
Bye, sis.